This will be a quick video to show you how to add stands fluid to a tire. Some people use an injector and go through the valve stem, and that does work. But I recommend actually unseating the bead of the tire so you can see how much stands is still in the tire, and also to remove those rubber balls that form as the stands fluid sticks to itself over time. I have a race tomorrow, so I need to check my fluid in the tires. I learned a few weeks ago the hard way that even if it's only been about 3 weeks, the stands fluid can still dry up, and I actually flatted out of a race, which was a bummer. So since I have a race tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and check the stands in the tire. If you have a work stand, you don't need to take the tire off the bike. So if you can put it in a stand, that's great. If you can elevate the bike, that's great, but you cannot have the tire sitting on the ground when you do this. You can take off the tire and just hang it over something, and that would work too. The first thing that you need to do, obviously, is let the air out of the tire. So I'm going to hold the valve stem down, and as it starts to get low, to make this go faster, you just kind of squeeze the tire, and that'll force the air out quicker. And then once pretty much all the air is out of the tire, you're just going to unseat the bead of the tire. These are stands rims, so they lock in there pretty good. And so I'm going to go around, undo the bead, and go all the way around, because you got to get the whole bead out of that channel of the rim for these stands rims. And you want to get the bead down into the center of the rim inside. Now just take a tire lever like this one, put it inside, and pull out the bead. Sometimes you have to use 2 of these, so they have a little hook. This one broke off, but you can hook it onto the spoke and then use a second one. This bead isn't that tight, so I can just go around and undo the whole bead. So this is a really good example, because I do have one of these rubber balls that has formed in the tire, and that's just extra weight that's sitting in your tire. So I still have a decent amount of fluid in there, so I'm going to add probably a little over half a cup of fluid to this tire. Alright, now just take your bottle of stands fluid, give it a real good shake to mix it up. Pour some in the cup. Like I said, I'm going to use a little over half a cup because I still got some in there. Pour it in the tire. Now what you want to do, you got to be careful that it doesn't spill out. So go ahead and put the bead back in kind of up higher, and then just go around the tire and get the bead back on. And like I said, this one's not that tight, so I don't need a tire lever to get it on. If it's really tight, sometimes you got to use the tire lever to get it back on. Okay, now I'm going to use an air compressor. Air compressors are very handy when working on bikes. Probably the 2 main applications is drying off a bike, like I showed in my bike cleaning video, and then inflating tubeless tires. In all my years of inflating tubeless tires, I've never gotten the tire to seat with just a floor pump. I've always had to use a compressor, or in a pinch, a CO2 cartridge. So what I'm going to do is use this little Presta adapter that you can pick up at a bike shop, screwed on the Presta valve. And then I've got just the standard air chuck. And when you do this, you're going to want to put the valve stem at about the 8 o'clock position. And so if it doesn't inflate all the way, and this is just kind of basic tubeless inflation instruction, but you want to hit the tire. What that does is it pushes the tire out, it forces it out, so if it's not seating right away, and my air compressor is probably going to come on when I do this, so it's going to be loud, so here we go. And there's the infamous loud pop that these stands rims do, but it's reassurance that it's seated in that channel and it's not going to come out. So that's it. I'm done. You probably want to put a pressure gauge up to it and check your pressure to get it exactly the way you want it. But that's how to, real quick, just add stands fluid in a tire, or just check it and see if there's a rubber ball in there, or just see if it's dried up.